Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Let's kick things off today with another installment of the Professional Enough Files. You know how control freaks are always saying only cops and soldiers are responsible enough to have guns? Well, New York City police officer Jason McLeod's baby mama called the cops because she said he keeps a bunch of loaded guns all over his house where their toddler can get into them.
Did you ever see a baby with a zip gun?
So cops went to investigate, as is their custom, and sure enough, found 15 guns scattered all over within easy reach of a baby, including one loaded handgun on the coffee table and another in a kitchen cabinet. New York has a storage law, and he got charged with violating that law, as well as child endangerment, but not charged for the 14 unregistered firearms. You see, in the oppressively authoritarian Empire State, even cops are supposed to report the guns they own, and he only registered one of his guns. So where do I start?
The baby and a gun on the toilet!
Is this guy responsible? Hell to the no. He should not be a cop. He shouldn't even be allowed to use scissors without adult supervision. Leaving loaded guns where naturally inquisitive larval stage humans can reach them is peak stupid. Keep your guns out of reach of kids, folks. How you do that is your call. But treat it with the gravity the problem deserves. And yes, also teach your kids about guns, of course. But you wouldn't leave a circular saw plugged in on the living room floor and then yammer about how it's your right when somebody tells you it's kind of dumb and dangerous, would you?
In fact, I wish you would.
New York storage law is, of course, unconstitutional. The state should not be involved in the matter unless someone gets hurt, and whether you let your offspring huff oven cleaner or no-scope the neighbor, I think all states have negligence laws to cover that sort of thing, don't they? Do any of you folks know?
Damn internet.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, because there are some things I would not do for a Klondike bar. But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Vortex.
The proven Crossfire sight is now available in new flavors. Same great, affordable, bomb-proof reflex sight with a 2 MOA reticle and 50,000 hour battery life backed up by the Vortex no questions asked VIP warranty, but now it's available with a tan finish or a green dot.
And by Colt. I know you. You've had enough of store brand and you are ready for the real thing. Whether it's the classic 1911 legendary revolvers like the Python or truly mil-spec ARs, Colt is the original. Everyone else is the knockoff. And by 1776 Insurance. Most homeowners' policies only cover up to $2,500 for firearms. I don't know about you, but I've got more than that in just optics. 1776 gives you comprehensive coverage against breakage, theft, fire, and burglary for all your guns, and you don't have to give them your serial numbers. Well, the Supreme Court denied certiorari to Antonyuk versus James, which is the case out of New York, which was seeking to narrow the Bruin decision. The Bruin versus Nyserpa Supreme Court opinion required the government to prove there was an equivalent historical gun control law, but they didn't really specify from what time period. Gun rights advocates say the time period is obviously contemporary to the ratification of the Bill of Rights, while control freaks insist they can search all the way up to 1868 to find racist laws to support their infringements because that's when the 14th Amendment was passed, which is the amendment which was used to incorporate the other amendments.
I'm just a bill.
And the case would also have settled New York's floor is lava attempt to declare every public space off limits for gun owners. No news yet on the cases for the Rhode Island or DC mag bans or the Maryland assault weapons ban. Kash Patel says he has put an end to the zero tolerance policy the Biden regime imposed on the ATF, which removed any discretion from industry operations inspectors regarding their judgment about whether a paperwork discrepancy was the result of intentional misdirection or just an honest mistake. But just giving discretion back to the IOIs doesn't matter much if the IOIs actively want to use every possible excuse to shut down honest dealers. We've already seen IOIs will just stand there and break the law right in front of you with zero shame.
Here she is, taking photocopies of every page of my A&D book.
So I'm not sure how much benefit it will be to allow them discretion again, but I don't know, I guess it's possible. Maybe the ATF could change.
I can change, I can change, I can learn to keep my promise.
I mean, just because the ATF and FBI have been involved in some of the most depraved things ever done to the American people, decade after decade, and just because none of them have ever been held accountable in any meaningful way, doesn't mean you can just jump to the conclusion that they have no incentive to change and never will. I mean, with that kind of reasoning, you might end up believing the FBI and ATF just routinely conspire with state governments to deprive Americans of their rights.
A joke?
I wish.
Yeah, the ATF has been using the NICS system not just to run an instant check, as the name implies, but to run warrantless surveillance on gun buyers 6 months at a time. According to documents obtained by the GOA in a FOIA request, it appears the ATF has been asking the FBI to monitor Khalistani subjects to see if they purchase a gun outside Californistan.
I thought this was a free country.
The maximum allowable time frame they can ask for in these monitoring service requests is 180 days, and that's what's marked on the document, which was obtained by the GOA. But I don't think it's unfair to assume they would submit a new request every 6 months to indefinitely spy on people who are technically American citizens. But setting aside the Fourth Amendment implications, can someone please tell me why in the name of Castle Grayskull is the federal government enforcing state laws? Does the IRS rat people out to states if they think somebody didn't pay enough state tax? Does the FDA report food trucks to local health departments? I feel like this is exactly the sort of despotic bullshit the 10th Amendment was written for. Like, this is so obviously out of pocket, but somehow unexpected at the same time. How could the founders even have conceived of this level of derision for the American people? I mean, it's kind of like how the designers of the MOS 36 probably never figured they would actually have to tell soldiers not to dock their rifles. Well, unsurprisingly, the poor, oppressed Mel Gibson got the special treatment he was looking for after a Justice Department attorney got fired for raising ethical objections to a late request that she add him to a list of people she was recommending have their gun rights restored.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Now, like I said when we reported on her firing in the first place, Gibson's gun rights never should have been violated. Everyone who is not currently incarcerated has the right to bear arms, and everyone who is not currently incarcerated has access to guns whether you like it or not, so it's probably best if we don't let them out until we can trust them with guns. And with stabby things, motor vehicles, and power tools.
Oh, look at me, I'm Leatherface!
So it's not that I was opposed to Gibson having his rights restored, it's that I don't think he should get special treatment just because the president likes him. And now, for your moment of zen. Hello, friend. Do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure and good American pew bug and the low price of free? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.